Well, hey everybody. Ain't them flowers beautiful right there? I thought this would be a good place to start another video. I don't know what kind them are, but they mighty pretty. Yeah, this will be our second ride here in Picayune on a Sunday afternoon. We just riding around and enjoying the day, and most of all, limbering up our legs. Ride around and show y'all this old mural right here. I don't know who paints all these murals, but ain't they pretty? Of course, that looks a little bit faded there now. I ain't telling how many years it's been there. It sure does look good. Let's see, I don't know if I can get through there, but they got another mural around here on behind this building right here. If I can get through there, I'll show it to you. Looks like they got a pretty good trench there to cross. I don't know if I want to go through there or not. No, it ain't that bad. Well, I don't know. Ain't that bad, but it ain't that good. This is not a mural, it's more of a, I guess, a welcome to Picayune sign. Right there. Probably the same person did it. Ashley Mason, 2021, that's who painted that. Then you got Old Stonewall's barbecue right over there. That's good barbecue. They're doing something in this building right here. They're overhauling it, and I don't know what they're gonna be in there, but they've been spending a lot of time in there. We actually, when I worked for Bell Avon, we had an old, we actually worked here. We had an old building in here, and we was making inflatable tanks and stuff for the military. And the Army contracted with us to make what they call what they refer to as a tetrahedron. And I bet y'all wondering, what in the world is a tetrahedron? Well, I wondered the same thing first time I heard it. But the Army's got these big shells that they make, that they shoot out of their howitzers, 155 millimeter. And when they're shooting these things on the range, they wanted to, instead of put explosives in them, so they could see where they're hitting. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. But they wanted something that whenever they shot the shell, that it would shoot an object that would open up at a certain time before it hit the ground, and this inflatable bag would come out. I know this is all sounding like a bunch of hogwash, but this inflatable bag would come out, and it would air itself up, and it was about 30 foot high, and it was a tripod thing. It was like 3 legs sticking down, and it had 1 leg sticking straight up. Yeah, it had 1 leg sticking, had one part of it was sticking straight up. And the people on the artillery range could look down range with their spotting scopes or whatever, some kind of camera, and they could see where this artillery shell hit by seeing this bright yellow thingamajig. It would kind of remind you of one of these things that they put the fan blowing on, and it blows. You see them at like car washes and stuff like that, and it's the man that's folding and unfolding, and he's shaking his hand like that. That's basically what thing looked like. So this thing would potentially tell the people where the shell went off at, where it landed at. So we was in that old building right there, and we was making them for the military, and we were sending them off up there to whatever army base. I think it was over in Alabama, and they was testing them. But yeah, we was making them in that old building. Well, we had to, you know, with the military, they want everything tested. They want them tested. They want to know what the blowout points is on them. I know I've showed y'all this before, y'all, but there you go. You are here. I'm gonna jump off and take a picture right quick like. Okay, we'll get back to the story. So we had to test these things. We had to know what the pressure that they would achieve before the fabric blew out. So we had to do some destructive tests there. We would build up little bags, certain size. They had to be a certain size. What's up there, puppy dog? And we would air it up, and we would get in a little room in there, like a little safe room. We would get in a little room, and we'd sit the air nozzle on, blowing it, you know, to airing it up. And we'd wait for it to go off. Well, first one or two of them things, they went off. I'm telling you, it shook the whole building. Kind of like a big giant balloon popping. Except when this one popped, it blew the cobwebs out of the ceiling of that old building. Well, our neighbors around there on the West Canal Street, they got to complaining about it. They said, well, it wasn't that they was complaining, they thought that there was something exploding, you know, and then they needed the fire department and ambulance and all that. So Mr. Sedgy Filling Game had a barber shop right over there about where Katie Cakes was. I just pointed it out to y'all, just to the right of the barbecue place, Stonewalls. Mr. Sedgy Filling Game had he cut hair there, and he's one of the old time barbers, kind of like Floyd on Andy Griffith. Still use the scissors and little snips. We set one off one day, and I seen him open his door, and I closed our door right quick, like so he wouldn't know where it was coming from. And he looked left, he looked right. After a while, I seen the police show up over there at his place. And he told me, he said, "Yeah, I don't know where it's at. I don't know what's going on, but he said, there's somebody setting off some charges around here." But yeah, we had to, and what we had to do was, The people in the businesses that wanted us said, you got to tell us when you're going to set off one of them bags, because we realize y'all are trying to work. But said, you got to tell us when you're going to set them off so we'll be prepared for it, because it was shaking them up pretty bad. But you know, we couldn't do that because there was too many businesses along there. You'd have to have somebody just constantly walking around telling the businesses, hey, we fixing to blow something up. We finally moved that business back over to where we was at, where they were at whenever I left them. But yeah, that was funny. Mr. Sedgy, he couldn't figure out. He couldn't figure out what was going on. I can tell you this much. We blowed all the cobwebs out of that old building. That old building was a car dealership at one time. I think it was several things. It was an old furniture building one time, but yeah, we blowed all the cobwebs out of it. Well, if y'all know me, you know about where we're at here. We're heading down into Silk Stocking. I figure what would you can't come to Picayune and ride unless you ride down through Silk Stocking, right? People sitting out on their porch. I always thought that was a pretty house there on that corner. Ain't that a pretty house? And that house there is an old house. Probably dated back 40s or something like that. All right, let's head it down into the heart of Silk Stocking. I wish I knew more about this. I wish I knew more about who owned what. I know this place has changed hands several times. And it may have never changed hands. It may be still in the Crosby family. I don't know. Here you go for you newcomers to our channel there. It's like a mansion, I guess. I guess you'd call it a mansion. I'd like to go in it one time. If I could, I'd take y'all in there with me. A beautiful Japanese magnolia over there. We're gonna turn and go down Gray Oak Lane here. Gray Oak Drive. This lot's still for sale. There you go, John. This house is still for sale. And what about this old big one down here in the end? Is it still for sale? Yeah, it's still for sale. I talked with the FedEx man about this one. Cause he comes back in here. He said, man, we was talking about it, and he said, that's my area. That's where I deliver to. Yeah, there you go, John and Elvie out there in Las Vegas. This y'all's house is still sitting here waiting on you. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I came here one time. I'm pretty sure we came here one time. For some reason, I think it was something to do with my cousin Bud when he was getting married. But anyway, he told me, I looked it up, this house up, 208 Gray Oak Drive, and I looked it up, and I think it's $1.5 million. Is that right? Yeah, I think it's $1.5 million. But the house was built in 1953, so as me and the FedEx man was talking about, man, you'd have all kind of, maintenance and renovation and all to get it modernized, or you leave it like it is. Y'all look at this right here. Y'all ever seen a front yard that look like this? What kind of bushes is these, or what kind of plants are those? I mean, you'd think a squirrel couldn't even run through that. I mean, I'm not saying it's ugly or anything. I'm just saying it's pretty, but I just don't never recall ever seeing anything like that. It's different. What about there, my squirrel? All right, let's take a ride. He's on around. That man there is a good man. Gene Combs. He flew helicopters in Vietnam. He got shot down. He said he had 7 helicopters shot out from under him. Sir, my hat's off to you. Thank you for waving the flag there. Seems like there's a lot of houses back down in here for sale. And this back in here, I know I've told y'all before, this is what they call the Hermitage. It's right on the bank of the old Bowley Creek. There was a man who was, he was like a quartermaster in Andrew Jackson's army when Andrew Jackson come through. And he loved this place so much that he came back here after the war and he built I think he had something to do with building that Hermitage back there. It's always a good place to stop and take a picture. There was a little old gator over here in this pond. Let's see if we can see him. Yeah, I seen him down there. I see bubbles. He just went under. He's about 4 foot long. Of course, you know where these little ones, these big ones. Jaguarundi don't have no trouble climbing no hills. Coming by what they call the picture wall here, I call it. I'll say a lot of people takes pictures here on this wall where it's all grown over with the, well, look out, squirrel. It's all grown over with the ivy or whatever that creepy crawly stuff is. All right, we're gonna get it back on the road now. Well, I guess we've been on the road. Yeah, somebody said this morning that it's going to be in the 80s here next week. I'm talking about 80 for highs. The highs in the 80s. Man, I tell you what, that's good sounding news right there. I don't know about y'all, about where y'all at. Which I imagine up north, where some of y'all are from, it's already getting cool up there. But that's still, I mean, it hasn't been extreme hot here, but it still gets pretty warm during the day. Let's see, Idlewild, can we take off of that? I think we can. So, well, what we got on our agenda for rides coming up? Well, I can tell you this, that I told Mickey the other day, I said I'd like to go to Possum Walk one day. I know several of y'all likes the Possum Walk, and I can appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get off and go to Possum Walk one day. Maybe a Saturday afternoon. These houses is right along the bank of Bowley. Got all them private property signs, like who's really now, who's gonna come down here and bust up in there? I mean, there's nothing ever goes on up in here, y'all. I mean, who's gonna go up in there and mess around with that man's stuff? He's got enough private property signs there to, I just don't know. What is Grice? I think Grice dead ends. Yeah. Grice dead ends. Yeah, I plan on going to the Possum Walk here soon. Check it out. Maybe check and see if my tree's still down there across the road. I want to go down there and do a little tree trimming and pruning and stuff like that, 'cause I can tell you, there ain't nobody been down there and done nothing. But I'm waiting on them snakes go in a little bit. Who was it? Me and my old Mike Pate was talking about the snakes. He said there's plenty of snakes down there at Possum Walk. I said, believe it or not, y'all, I'm not lost. I was just thinking that I missed my street, but it must be further down this way. I want to take Stadium Drive. But yeah, I want to go down there, but I want to wait till after these snakes is out of here. You know, I was thinking about tires, bike tires. Of course, these tires on this little Jaguarundi, I hadn't looked at them lately to see how they're wearing or anything like that, but I like these. These are what they call the Crusader tread. Let me give this lady my left arm that I'm turning there. I don't know though, they're doing something over there in the stadium. We'll look at that when we come back. You know, I was thinking about the tires that the Mahogo LX4 it's got them Arisons. It's got them Arison street tires on it. I don't know, you know, I got mixed feelings about those tires. It's just me, I'm not gonna run over nobody. But yeah, I'm not really sold on those street tires just yet. I've ridden them around them. I tell you, I still like the tire tread, the knobbies that's on the Deer and the other knobby tire bikes. You know, I'm not really sold on that Arison street tire. I don't feel. You know, when I go to turning these curves and things like that, I don't feel as secure about them. Yeah, I just can't warm up to them, you know. I just don't feel secure when I go to make these turns as I do with these knobby tires. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I fell and I busted my butt down there one day and I don't want to fall again. That may be the reason. Keddy Drive, old Dr. Keddy, he was one of the mainstays here in the early Picayune. Dr. Keddy doctored everybody. I mean, he was everybody's doctor. Even me. One time that I got sick, and he was my doctor. Smoked a cigar. Yep. All right. Hit Main Street here. It's been a while since I've been to Picayune to amount to anything. Really enjoy riding around Picayune, especially on a Sunday afternoon. Cause look, I mean, you know, some of y'all see this and they say, man, you ain't got no traffic. Like, you know, Pedro says, you ain't got no traffic. Who else? John, he says, you ain't got no traffic over there. But on Monday, when everybody's getting out of here to go to work and school, yeah, these streets are pretty busy. But yeah, Sunday afternoon, hey, it's kind of like they roll up the sidewalks here in Mayberry. All right, y'all, we're gonna ease on down and maybe cut up here and head back in towards the old pick-em-up truck. See what time it is. 2:05. We got in 2 good rides today. Why is the flag flying half-mast, you reckon? He cleaning up old Wisteria vine. I told y'all I wanted to ride up here and see what they're doing up here by the football stadium. Let's see what they're doing. They probably building another field house or something like that. I'll have to ask Grayson. He keeps up with all this. He keeps up with all the football stuff. Yeah, this used to be parking area here for the visitor side. This is where they used to put the band and all that. Yeah, they fixing to put a foundation in there for a building, some kind. Sure don't see no signs of no kind. All right, y'all, I tell y'all what, we're gonna hang up with y'all here. Well, you got a good view of the football stadium here. Let's look at the football stadium here. There you go. A nice view of the football stadium. Track. We used to sit right over there. That looks so little now. That little stadium, that's the visitor side, and this is the home side. But we used to come up here with Uncle Robert. Uncle Robert had an old 70 Chevrolet truck. Look, they still got the cannon over here. They used to shoot that cannon, but they don't shoot it no more when they scored touchdowns. But yeah, Uncle Robert used to bring us up here when we was kids. My mama was a school bus driver, and whenever we worked the door of the school bus, she'd get us a pass to get in the football games for free. Yeah, there's that old cannon. Show y'all this old cannon here. Yeah. Don't know what kind of an old cannon that is. Some kind of piece of artillery. I don't know if it's World War I, World War II, or what, but they used to fire that thing off. But yeah, we used to sit right up there in that corner, right up in yonder. We always, you say, well, why'd you sit on the visitor side? Because the home side was always full. I'm talking about it was full. Still full. I think this is some of the football players here. They must probably be in the weight room in there doing something or another. All right, y'all, I tell you what, we're gonna hang up with you. We appreciate having y'all along with us today. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. I certainly have. At least it's been a beautiful day to ride. So y'all know the routine. Hit that like and that subscribe if you want to, and hey, if you don't want to, we appreciate you watching anyway. We'll catch y'all on down the road, y'all. It's Rip 1. We out of here.